Now the Kolkata police used tear gas and water cannons against protesters from the BJP. This is after the BJP organized massive march today to the police headquarters in Kolkata to protest against the post-poll violence that's taking place in the state, and also to hit out at the Mamata government and put it on the spot over the killings. Now there you can see the march earlier. It said that lots of BJP supporters came from adjoining districts as well. That was the information, and from various places in Kolkata they began this march heading towards the police headquarters, where they were met with barricades, and a massive police presence was also there. And we saw those visuals of the BJP workers first hitting against those barricades, and then the police using water cannons and even tear gas against the protesters. This is after the violence that took place in Basirhat as well, in which two BJP workers were killed last week on Saturday. Remember, one Trinamool worker was also killed in the violence, and since then the BJP has been making a major political issue, using these deaths to target the Bengal government. In fact, they wanted to, the BJP wanted to actually bring those bodies to Kolkata to hold the funeral. There was a standoff just outside of Basirhat as well, and they even threatened to actually hold the funerals on the highway. Finally, the funerals of those BJP workers were held in their village, but the next day the BJP called it a black day and announced protests. And then today as well, you can see this massive protest taking place. There's a march in Basirhat as well, and the top BJP leader Kailash Vijayvargiya is also there. We saw he was sitting in protest a short while ago. So there you can see the BJP really not letting the pressure of the Bengal government. There you can see top leaders marching as well. SS Ahluwalia, Kailash Vijayvargiya, all there, a part of this protest march to target the Mamata government and to target her and put the focus on the political violence in the state. Remember, that was an issue that is an issue that the BJP has been picking up constantly, even at the Prime Minister's swearing in. You saw families of those who were allegedly killed. The BJP claimed they were all killed in political violence in Bengal. The families were all invited to the swearing in. It was after that that Mamata Banerjee actually refused to go for the swearing in, which she was initially, she had announced she would go, as it was a constitutional function. However, she said it was being used to make a political point against her government, and she refused. Then she did not go for that swearing in, and since then the issue has continued. On Saturday there was violence in Basirhat, where two BJP workers were killed allegedly by Trinamool workers. One Trinamool person was also killed in that violence. But since then the BJP initially wanted to bring those bodies to Kolkata to hold a funeral, a big funeral in Kolkata, and to again, of course, embarrass the Mamata government. However, the police did not allow them to bring those bodies to Kolkata. There was a standoff that went on into the night on the highway between Basirhat and Kolkata. Finally, the funerals were held in the villages. Take a look at that standoff that happened a short while ago as the marchers reached near the police headquarters, and they were met with barricades, a massive police presence, and then water cannons. Tear gas was used as well. So there you can see the police there trying to disrupt that march, and we're told thousands of people have BJP supporters have even come in from adjoining districts for this massive march. There was a Lathicharged as well, and there you can see water cannons used. Earlier we saw tear gas also being used to disrupt these protests. So these protests, the BJP really putting the pressure on the Mamata government and trying to embarrass the government over the political killings, the killings of BJP workers. Remember, they made a big issue of it during the elections, during the Prime Minister's swearing in as well. Families of workers who'd been killed were invited for the swearing in that actually led to Mamata Banerjee cancelling her attendance. And since then, the BJP has been targeting the Mamata government, and we saw the governor also earlier this week coming to Delhi, the Bengal governor meeting with the Prime Minister and then meeting with Home Minister Amit Shah, who has really kept his focus on West Bengal. We've also seen several Trinamool leaders switching over to the BJP, councillors as well switching over to the BJP. In fact, the BJP is saying that this is going to keep happening in many stages. We're going to be seeing Trinamool workers shifting to the BJP. And today this massive march was planned by the BJP to protest against the post-poll violence and the killings that took place in Basirhat. It was a march to the Kolkata police headquarters where they were met by barricades, a big police presence, and then the water cannons were used, tear gas was also used against them. So a fresh showdown and face-off between the administration and the BJP in Bengal. So ever since the conclusion of the elections as well, there's been no let-up in Bengal as far as this face-off and the BJP putting pressure on the Trinamool government goes. In fact, NDTV was told in an interview by a Bengal BJP leader that they don't think the Mamata government will even last. So really, the BJP keeping up its pressure on Bengal. Well, let's go across to Monideepa now. And Moni, you were caught up really in the midst of all this when we saw water cannons, even tear gas was used all around you. We saw the policemen actually putting, using handkerchiefs to their mouths. Tell us what the situation is like now.
Yes, we had to flee the scene at the moment, and so did the police. And if you want a comic element to it all, apparently two of the tear gas shells hit the wires that are there overhead us, and they fell on the ground quite close to the police, which is why the police also got a full and proper dose of tear gas, and so did we. But after that, the water cannon seemed to have worked, the tear gas seemed to have worked. What happened is the BJP protesters, they retreated, and I don't know if you can see from here, and they are still in retreat mode. Right there, all the leadership sat there for about half an hour, and now they seem to be dispersing. What we were told by Mr. Vijay Varghya, Mr. Dilip Ghosh, Mr. Arjun Singh, Mr. S.S. Aluwalia, the whole range of BJP leadership that is there, what we were told by them is that the police has officially arrested the protesters and officially released them, and that the BJP protest is over. What Mr. Jaiprakash Majumdar of the BJP, he made a point of saying is that you saw how disciplined the BJP rally was. Yes, indeed, we did expect worse, but thankfully it was just those tear gas shells and the water cannons that did the trick. Very well sort of strategically located. Lalbazar is beyond there on my left, and the BJP protesters could not go so far. Their point obviously has been made, and that is the protest against violence against their party workers, two of whom died at Chandesh Khali on Saturday, and Mamata Banerjee herself has admitted that 10 people have died in Bengal since the 23rd of May, the day the results came out. Mamata Banerjee has also said that 8 of those 10 are Trinamool workers. But if you leave the parties aside, 10 people dead since 23rd May, BJP's protest thankfully coming to a somewhat peaceful end.
Right, Monideepa, there's been no break for you or for the Trinamool government in the state since the elections got over. I mean, the pressure has just been on the BJP, whether it's people switching from the Trinamool to the BJP or this post-poll violence and protest. It's just the BJP really keeping the pressure on the Bengal government.
Yes, indeed. On the side of the Trinamool Congress, on the side of the government, as it were, it's a one-woman show, Mamata Banerjee, and she is trying to helm the fight back. And it's been tough for her, whether she admits it or not. It has been tough, whereas on the BJP side, you have a galaxy of top leaders. First of all, you have 18 MPs who are all on the roads, streets, ready for a hand-to-hand combat here in Kolkata and in Bengal. And not only the MPs, the other leaders, Mukul Roy, Kailash Vijay Varghya, parachuting in from Delhi. So certainly Mamata Banerjee catching the rough end of it all, but at every speech that she has made, she has promised a fight back. She has said, we don't wear bangles. That was just yesterday. Certainly a sexist comment from the Chief Minister, a woman herself, but that's what she said, we don't wear bangles. She also described herself as a tiger and said, a wounded tiger is much more dangerous than a dead one. So Mamata Banerjee promising a fight back, party also rolling up its sleeves for a fight back, but BJP certainly causing sleepless nights.
All right, Moni, thanks so much for joining us there. So, Moni Deepa, they're reporting from what was the site of that massive protest and a face-off really between the BJP marchers, the workers and the police, the Kolkata police. Now, the BJP workers were protesting. It was a protest march to the police headquarters against the political killings. As Moni Deepa was telling us, 2 BJP workers were killed in Bashirhat on Saturday, and the BJP really putting the focus on that and protesting over it. The police there ready with barricades and water cannons and tear gas shells. BJP leaders who were there, SS Aluwalia, Kailash Vijayvargiya and others who were a part of that march actually sat in protest for a short while over there. And now it seems the BJP, that protest is now over. But dramatic scenes from earlier there on your screens as the BJP keeps up its pressure on the Bengal government.